Hi guys. Um, Today I'm just doing a quick video just showing off some conversions that I've just recently done. It's for Middle Earth, which obviously is probably not surprising because I've been doing a lot of Middle Earth in the last year. Something I've been wanting to do for a while is convert up this Aragorn to be mounted. Like, I bought a plastic chappy like months ago and I wanted to stick him on a horse. I finally got around to doing it, and in that time, I've managed to collect a couple more models, like the Boromir and the Legolas, the back there. And obviously, because I decided, what's the best option to do will be to buy the Rohan Rider set, because they're usually pretty cheap. And the idea then I was like, I reckon actually they'd convert quite well into Rangers, because the option for Rangers of the North is that they can also take a horse. So we'll start with Aragorn. So you see, it's just a normal Rohan horse, which is really handy because in both the book and the film, he is given a Rohan horse by Ymir, so obviously it doesn't really matter. I'll paint it up like probably using the film scheme. So there's quite a bit of repositioning. As you can see at the back there, I've cut a lot of the coat off and just molded some green stuff, but I'm not really adjusting too much. I did kind of have to chop them in half and then chop the legs into two and then chop them up and reposition them, and there's a bit of brass wire there at the moment. So I mean, he looks all right. I find he looks really good at a distance. Actually, of all the ones I've done so far, he's my least favourite. But I do find from a distance he actually looks quite good. But I think the problem is just the arm, that right arm. I think just the way it's been moulded, and obviously because I've chopped it and changed the position. I'm hoping once I had a coat primer and once it's painted, I'll use my painting skills to make it look a bit better. But besides that, I'm quite happy with it. It gives me a mounted Aragorn. I've got a billion other Aragorns now to use as dismount models, but I can use them for both my Rangers army and my Fellowship army. So that's really cool. You can put them on a horse, and as everyone seems to, the general consensus seems to be sticking heroes on horses just makes them so much more effective, which is not really surprising because they can knock people over and gain extra attacks. So especially someone like Aragorn, if you give him an extra attack and you knock the model prone so counter-attack, God, can you imagine the damage he can do? He's an incredibly powerful model if you play him right and stuff. So I'll show you Boromir. Again, just normal Rohan horse. Rohan, Gondor are good allies, so it wouldn't be too weird that they'd have, a Rohan horse. In the books, he loses his horse sort of halfway through, but in the film, certainly in the extended edition, you do see him arrive on a horse. So I've tried to emulate that the most. So I don't know if you can see very well, but I've tried to make a bit of a fur collar on his cloak, because I seem to remember him in the film, sort of when he sets off, he has a fur collar. I've added him a little saddlebag. That was just because I had some green stuff spare, and I thought, that was quite cool. He's meant to have ridden really far. As you can see, he's actually on half a Rohan Rider, which I had initially intended to do with Aragorn, but I just couldn't get it to work right. But Boromir just seemed to fit on. I've managed to keep the horn on, and he's got his shield, so I'm really happy with that. I'm actually really, really happy with him, and he was probably the easiest to kit bash, so, I guess that's the thing really in it. The easier it is, the better they tend to look. Legolas is a little bit of faff. He's basically just the plastic Legolas, and I've sawed into his, in between his legs a bit, added some green stuff, molded the cloak on just to, it hides the damage I've done better, and also if I want to pay for an elven cloak, then it looks a bit better. I think I quite like what you see is what you get. I've not put any armor on him, or I've not molded him like he's got armor, but I mean you can always say, it's underneath his tunic or whatever, it's or maybe his tunic is really good. The elves have got all sorts of trickery that they can bring in, but I'm quite happy with him, and obviously he was also given a Rohan horse, so that works absolutely perfectly. I'm going to paint that up like it appears in the film. And if I'd had a plastic Gimli, I would have definitely made it so we could fit on the back, and maybe at some point I'll get one and I'll be able to convert that up. I don't think that would be too difficult. I don't know. It's an idea, but it's not going to be something I'd want to do immediately. I'm going to let you know. And the next up is Halbarad Dunedain. So this is Aragorn's close kinsman. In the book he rides out from the north to come and help him, and is unfortunately slain in the Battle of Pelennor. Now he's quite well known, or his main thing is that he carries the Banner of Arwen Evenstar. So that's what I've tried to build him with. I suppose it's meant to make him really powerful and really good. It's meant to be like a really good banner, and it doesn't negatively impact him, so he's still really good at shooting and stuff. So I thought that'd be really cool. I don't actually have the foot model and you can get 2 foot models for him. So I don't know, I might buy one at some point, but for now I'll just use a Rangers of the North if he becomes dismounted. And maybe at some point if I pick up a couple more, like just Warriors of Rohan, I might try and convert one off something, just so it looks similar to the model on horse. But the banner was just really, really simple. It's just brass rod, bit of that ballistic plastic. I think that's the 3rd banner I've done like this now. But once that's all painted up, it'll look good. I'll try and do a tree. I'm getting better freehand. As you can see, he's pretty much just a Rohan model. I don't know how well you can see it, but I've tried to file down the scaling on the horse's like helmety bit first, and I've filled in the scaling on Halbarad. I've tried to make it look like he's got like a chainmail sort of is it avantail that goes over the mouth, just basically because they've got beards of the Rohan warriors, and I wanted to cover that up because the Dunedain aren't meant to have beards, I don't think. But also make it look a bit more unique and make him look less Rohan. I've also added a hood over the helmet, just because I thought that would fit better with the kind of the mysterious Rangers kind of look. But yeah, I'm quite happy with him. He's got a sword, he's got his bow. A horse is a horse. The Rohan horses aren't like really, really like, really, really unique. It's not like they're wearing lots of like, what do you call it, livery or something like that. Dol Amroth horses are. Cool. So this is one of the Rangers of the North that I've converted to be on horse. As you can see, I tried to do some more chainmail, which I'm quite happy. I saw a video from Warhammer TV about how to do chainmail green stuff, and I'm much, much happier. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And as you can see, I've given him a little bit of a scarf or something over his mouth. He's got a hood on again. I quite like that hood actually. I'm quite happy with that hood. It's quite hooded, quite covering his face quite a lot. And so this is the other guy, similar thing. As you can see, they've both got bows made from brass rod. And basically the idea was that the bows that come with the normal Rohan riders are quite short, which kind of makes sense, having a shorter bow on a horse. It's just kind of like stereotype or archetype that you quite commonly encounter in fantasy and stuff. But I wanted to make them look more like the actual foot models that Games Workshop produce. And also the Númenóreans are always described as having these really tall bows, and the Dunedain are meant to be their descendants. So I thought, well, that would look really cool if we got these really tall bows, and just makes them look more unique, stands out more. The sword are very Rohan, but I haven't got the skill really to update those. I don't think really. I've tried to sort of like shave the scale off so they look less Rohan. Again, that's why the hoods. But yeah, with the swords, you never know. Like they could just be part of their armory. After all, they were trading with the North. The men in the North and the Vales of Anduin and stuff. And there's all sorts of, there's lots of history among all these peoples of So it's not impossible that they would have these weapons in their armory. It's just one of those things, get handed down and things. Maybe there's some history attached to it. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with all those. It's, given me hopefully quite an effective small Ranger army. The idea is I'm going to run my Rangers with my Shire army. So I'm thinking have a lot of hobbits that I can just sort of throw at people, and then I can smash people about with horses and claim objectives, and I think should be quite a fun army actually to play with. And then obviously just having a few horse models for my Fellowship, it just makes sense. Again, I can knock people over, smash people over, take objectives. It's just hopefully it'll give me a bit more advantage in games if I do get around to playing that. I don't know if any of those armies will ever go to tournament, because I've kind of got my Isengard and my Dwarves are kind of gonna be my tournament armies, I think. But you never know. I might decide I want to play these, and also just playing games with people like locally with friendly games, just be more fun, I think. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and happy hobbying.